you were loyal. You showed up. You supported her dreams, stayed consistent, gave her time, effort, love, even money. You listened when she cried. You were there when she was uncertain. You gave her the version of you she said she wanted. And yet, she walked away. Now you're sitting alone in a silent room, asking the question that haunts men like you. Why wasn't I enough? That question hurts not just because she left, but because deep down, you thought you earned her. You believed loyalty was something that could be traded for love. That support would buy commitment. That consistency would lock in forever. But women aren't loyal to what you do for them. They're loyal to how they feel about who you are. And who you are wasn't what she felt drawn to. Not because you weren't good, but because you didn't understand what she's truly wired to respond to. You gave effort. You gave affection. But what she wanted was gravity. Stoic philosophy teaches us this painful but freeing truth. Don't measure yourself by results. Measure yourself by your nature. Marcus Aurelius. You did everything for her, but you lost yourself. You began the relationship with purpose, direction, and confidence. You had a spark. You had goals. You had a mission. But slowly, you shifted. Your compass pointed to her, not to your future. She became the center of your world, and the moment that happened, she started to drift. Because here's what no one tells you. The moment she becomes your mission, she loses interest. She doesn't want to be your North Star. She wants to feel your orbit, strong, steady, unshaken. She wants to feel safe around you, not be the reason you're no longer safe within yourself. You didn't lose her because you were too kind. You lost her because you became dependent on her love to feel like a man. That's what breaks the polarity. That's what turns affection into pressure. That's what makes her question what she felt in the beginning, when you were whole, grounded, and didn't need her to be okay. So this is where we begin. Not by blaming her. Not by blaming you. But by unlearning the lie that love is earned by doing more. It's time to remember this Stoic truth. If you base your value on how others feel about you, you will never have peace. Seneca. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because you stopped being you. And in the next part, we'll reveal what exactly women stay loyal to, and how to reclaim the gravity she was once drawn to. In the aftermath of a breakup, the questions never stop. What went wrong? Why did I give so much and still lose her? What could I have done differently? The harsh truth is this: women don't stay loyal to what you do for them. They stay loyal to how they feel about you, and, more importantly, how they feel about themselves when they're with you. Think about that for a second. The most important thing to a woman isn't how much you sacrifice, how much you give, or how much time you dedicate. It's how you make her feel. Does she feel secure around you? Does she feel seen? Does she feel like she can fully express her femininity without fear of judgment or rejection? This is the true foundation of her loyalty. When you focus only on what you can do for her, buying things, saying the right words, sacrificing your time, you start to ignore what really matters, how she feels in your presence. And what is the core of that feeling? Safety. Women need to feel emotionally secure around the man in their life. And if you're constantly needy, always trying to impress her, seeking her validation in every interaction, you make her feel like she's walking on eggshells. Instead of feeling safe, she feels pressure. That's where Stoic philosophy steps in and offers wisdom. The Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He doesn't look for approval. He is unshaken in his principles and actions. His security doesn't come from external sources, it comes from within. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you stop needing her to make you feel whole, you begin offering her a sense of safety that no amount of material gifts could ever provide. Imagine a relationship where your presence doesn't come with expectation. Imagine being the kind of man who doesn't need to constantly prove his worth, but simply is worthy. That's the kind of man she stays loyal to. Not the man who sacrifices everything to win her over, but the man who knows his worth, has direction, and offers her a space to thrive without the weight of his needs on her shoulders. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into what happens when your focus shifts away from her and toward your mission, and how that very shift creates the spark that keeps her loyalty strong. It's hard to admit, but it's the truth. Once you made her your mission, she started to lose interest. Think back to when the relationship was new. You were focused on your goals. You had a mission, something bigger than just the relationship itself. Your life was driven by purpose, and she saw that in you. She was drawn to your fire, your ambition, your sense of direction. She wanted to be part of your journey because she knew, deep down, that you were moving toward something, with or without her. But the moment you made her the focal point of your life, everything shifted. You began to look to her for validation, approval, and love. You put her at the center, and you let her become your main source of emotional fulfillment. Here's where the dynamics change. When she sees that you've put her above your own mission, she starts feeling like she's the only thing that matters to you. And, ironically, that's when she starts to lose respect. She no longer feels like she has to rise to meet your purpose. Instead, she feels responsible for your emotional state. And women are never attracted to responsibility. They want to be part of something greater than themselves, to feel like their partner is on a journey that requires them to rise and evolve alongside him. Stoic philosophy teaches us that a man's value is found not in his relationships, but in his pursuit of something higher. A Stoic man doesn't depend on anyone to complete him, he is already whole. His purpose, his mission, his work, and his drive are what give him his strength. This is where true attraction begins. When a woman sees that your focus is not on her, but on something greater, she feels inspired. She feels compelled to support you, to join you in that mission, to elevate herself to meet the standards you've set. And when she knows that your world doesn't revolve around her, but that she can be part of the journey you're already on, her loyalty grows. She feels like she has a place beside you, but not as the center of your universe. Your mission makes you strong. It makes you attractive. And it gives her something to believe in beyond herself. In the next part, we'll discuss why boundaries are essential in a relationship, and how your ability to enforce them is key to maintaining her respect and loyalty. There's a tendency many men fall into. You bend. You please. You tolerate. You do this because you want peace. You avoid conflict, hoping that by giving more, she'll appreciate you more. But each time you let your boundaries slip, something insidious happens. You lose respect. Let's talk about why boundaries matter, and why your willingness to hold firm, even if it feels uncomfortable at times, is the key to maintaining respect in a relationship. Women are drawn to men who are unwavering in their values. The Stoic man does not bend for the sake of comfort. He stands tall and rooted in his principles. He doesn't compromise who he is to please others, especially not to please the person he's with. Every time you tolerate behavior you don't like or allow something to slide because it's easier than confronting it, you teach her a powerful lesson. She doesn't have to respect you. When you set clear boundaries and stand by them, you're teaching her how to treat you, and, more importantly, you're showing her that you respect yourself. But what happens when you don't enforce your boundaries? The relationship dynamic shifts. She starts to see you as someone who is easy to walk over. She might start to test the limits, to see how much she can get away with. And when you always let things slide, the respect you once had starts to diminish. It's not about being harsh or inflexible. It's about knowing when to stand firm and protect your peace. The Stoics believed in controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. And that means controlling your actions, your reactions, and the boundaries you set with the people in your life. Imagine a relationship where you don't have to constantly please. Where your principles are non-negotiable, and your partner respects that strength. That's the type of relationship that fosters real loyalty. The woman who sees you stand by your boundaries is the same woman who feels safe with you, knowing that your love is strong enough to endure the challenges of life, but only if she meets you on the same level of respect. In the next part, we'll dive into the importance of masculine energy, and how being emotionally stable, not emotionally needy, is what keeps her loyalty strong. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. Women are not attracted to emotional weakness. Now, let's make something clear. Masculine energy is not about being stoic, silent, or cold. It's about being strong, stable, and unshaken, emotionally and mentally. It's about being a man of clarity, certainty, and purpose. It's about leading, not following. When you open up too soon, when you reveal your vulnerabilities without first establishing yourself as a strong, grounded individual, you lose something crucial: your power. Think about the early stages of a relationship. You're confident, you're sure of yourself. You're a man on a mission. You're emotionally aware, but you don't lean on her for validation. She sees you as a man who is whole, complete, and secure in who he is. This creates a deep attraction. But when you turn her into your emotional therapist, When you unload every single fear, doubt, and insecurity onto her, you put the power in her hands. She becomes the one who has to manage your emotions, your moods, and your sense of worth. And that shifts the power dynamic in a way that is deeply unattractive. Masculine energy is rooted in self-sufficiency. It's about knowing that you are the one responsible for your emotional state. You don't need anyone to complete you. Your happiness, your sense of security, and your sense of purpose come from within. You are already whole. This doesn't mean that you never show vulnerability. It doesn't mean you don't share your feelings with the woman you care about. But it does mean that you never rely on her for your emotional fulfillment. When you stay emotionally grounded, when you are the one who stays calm, who doesn't react impulsively or out of emotion, you show her that you are strong enough to weather any storm. This is the true essence of masculine energy, not in being invulnerable, but in being emotionally steady, no matter the circumstances. Women are drawn to men who lead with strength. They want to feel safe with you, knowing that you won't be moved by every passing emotion. They want to feel secure, and that security comes from seeing that you are in control of your own feelings. In the next part, we'll wrap up with the final key to maintaining her loyalty, becoming the man who needs nothing from her, but gives everything freely. The final truth, the ultimate key to unlocking true attraction and loyalty, is this. The man who needs nothing from her is the one who gets everything from her. This is the paradox. The more you try to earn her love, the more you push her away. The more you beg for attention, the less she will want to give it. When you are constantly trying to prove your worth, you end up revealing your own insecurity, and women, instinctively, are not attracted to weakness. But when you become the man who doesn't need her validation to feel good about yourself, when you are self-sufficient, emotionally grounded, and focused on your own mission, that's when she becomes loyal, genuinely interested, and attracted to you. Why? Because you become a man of value, not someone who is desperate for validation. A man who is emotionally independent doesn't look for love, affection, or approval to feel complete. He already has all that he needs within himself. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, self-mastery, and emotional self-sufficiency. This doesn't mean being emotionally distant or disconnected, it means that your sense of worth and peace come from who you are as a person, not from anyone else's opinion of you. When you stop chasing her and start focusing on your own growth, you become irresistible. Not because you're doing things for her, but because she sees you as a man who is confident, strong, and unshaken, a man who has a higher purpose and doesn't need her to validate his existence. This is where true masculine energy lies. You are building, creating, and evolving for yourself, not for her approval. You become a leader of your own life, a man of purpose, and that is incredibly attractive. Women want to feel lucky to be with a man who is on a mission. She wants to see that her presence adds value to your life, but she never wants to feel like she is the only thing holding your life together. So, stop performing. Stop trying to please her, impress her, or make her feel validated. Instead, focus on your own growth. Become the man who is so focused on his mission that her loyalty and admiration come as a natural byproduct of your energy. This shift is not just about attracting women, it's about transforming yourself into the best version of you. A version who leads with strength, is emotionally grounded, and doesn't rely on anyone to feel whole. When you live this way, you will naturally command respect, loyalty, and admiration. In the end, she stays not because you need her, but because she feels privileged to be in your world.